David Milhausen here with the one, the only DY Daryl Rivera. We had some major internet issues on my end, so I greatly apologize. And who had a worse evening, my internet or the lambasting Jerry Krause got last night? And Jerry Krause couldn't even defend himself on The Last Dance. Wow.
Well, the lambasting Jerry Krause received last night was probably a lot worse, mainly because he broke up he broke up the greatest basketball team ever assembled. Just because he had the little man's mentality. And I was only 2. I was only 2 years old when that happened. So it's like, I was watching this documentary, and it was just, wow. They threw him under the bus so hard. This was the first episode was basically, let's roast Jerry Krause. Let's throw him under the bus. It's his fault. Mainly his fault.
Before we continue the lambasting of the deceased, you can find the podcast on YouTube. Go to the YouTube page, just search The Walkway to Fight Club. First episode, not bad. A little bit of a rocky start, but I thought a really good solid start for the first live YouTube. And go to the YouTube channel, go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/The Walkway to Fight Club. You can also go to Twitter, twitter.com/Walkway Fight. And then you can also find the audio version. You can find it. We will have the audio up. I didn't put it up this weekend. My Adobe Audition decided to take a dump. But we got that squared away. That'll be up tomorrow morning. So the audio will be found on iTunes. Stitcher is still banned. Google Play, Spotify, and all your favorite podcasting platforms. Didn't I teach you popping peas? I shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, a lot of popping of the peas. Don't do that.
Right?
All I remember as a young upcoming broadcaster in school, Steve Milhausen, just don't pop your peas.
Don't pop those peas, man. God. It's like I was watching, I don't know if you watch this on Sunday nights, Chicago's Best on WGN. You watch that at all? It's on right after the 10 o'clock news. And they go like, what it is they tour like all these restaurants around like Chicago and all the suburbs. And it was a really good Ethiopian restaurant. But the bad part was this meal looked great, except for the fact that it had peas like all in the middle. And I'm looking at my wife because we were watching The Last Dance. We watched the news, and then we were watching Sports Center. Sports Center after that was Scott Van Pelt was amazing. And then I see that, and I'm like, man, this meal looks good. Then the dude you're just sitting there, and the dude puts peas in, and I'm like, I'm out. Because I was that kid, Daryl, when I don't know if you ever ate this tuna casserole.
I'm allergic to tuna, so no.
Wow. Allergic to? Wow. You kind of ruined. Did you ever eat Hamburger Helper?
No. I still have one in the cabinet. I never really broken it out.
And I forget you're a baby. It's like you forget. Like we were talking last night, and she was asking more because my wife knows you were like one of my students and one of my better students, and we're doing this podcast, and then she said how old you were, and I'm like, he's like a youngin', and she's like, I'm like, he makes me feel young.
No, 24 now.
You don't even know how old you are.
I just turned 24 in the middle of the quarantine, man. How do you think I'm gonna remember that?
Wait a minute. Now I do remember. I didn't know it was in the middle of the quarantine.
It was March 30th.
Man.
2 weeks.
How do you celebrate a quarantine birthday? Like, how did you do that?
A lot of drinking and a big brownie. A lot of proper 12 consumed that night, my man.
You just lost viewers because the question is, How many brownies did you have?
It was one. It was one big ass brownie. It's
Now,
from a supermarket. It's one of those you put a candle on there. My lovely girlfriend got it for me.
oh, I thought you were talking about another brownie.
No.
Oh, let's see. Now it's ruined. I thought you were talking like the marijuana candy.
Oh no, never had one of those.
Oh,
We discussed this last time. I never smoked, never did anything.
so you're like CM Punk, drug free, alcohol.
Yeah, pretty much.
Vouch. He does not legit drink because we were. This was. He was at a UFC. They had to be Vegas. Yes, it was. Oh God, it wasn't when he debuted because that was the night he announces he's signing with the UFC. It's my bachelor party. So I'm sitting. I don't even know it. Like I knew they were going to. I just didn't know when they were going to debut him. I knew he was going to be. They were going to be announcing soon, and like we're dry. I didn't know what was going on because we ate. We ate dinner at my buddy's house. Like he ordered like a crap ton of pizzas, and then the guys took me to the Bulls game where they got proceeded to get their asses handed to them by the Warriors. That was pretty fun.
Typical Bulls, yeah.
Oh yeah. So I'm hammered beyond belief. Surprise, surprise. And I left my phone in the limo. That was a bad idea. And look at my
limo.
Phone.
Wow.
Oh, dude, these guys like freaking went all out, man. I got to give my best man credit. He just hooked it up. And I look and I got like 50 text messages. I got DMs all over the place. And I'm like, I have no idea. I'm like, oh, man, he freaking showed up. I was like, wow. So it was like the first time after that. And I forget, I went to Vegas and we were gambling at the MGM Grand. And a bunch of fighters, and he was with them. He was with Woodley, Tyron Woodley, Anthony Pettis, Sergio Pettis, and Duke Rufus. So we're all over there. We're saying hi, and I had known him, so we're sitting there chatting for a minute, and then we're all drinking, and I go, and dude, and straight up, water, Sprite, Pepsi. I was like, dude, you're a boss. The fact you got, I asked him, I'm like, how do you not do that? He's like, it's because it's like his, family came from alcohol addiction, alcohol issues. Yeah. So I just thought that was like really cool. I had like a newfound respect for him to where he got out of wrestling and he stayed the same guy. So I thought that aspect of him I thought was always cool. And the fact that you have not smoked marijuana, I am proud of you. No drugs for you. Stay away from drugs. Drugs are bad, everybody. Very, very bad. I don't say no to alcohol, but I do say no to drugs.
I will not say. Yeah, I'm not right there with you. No to drugs. Give me more for alcohol.
Be proud of me today. I'm drinking Coke and water. No beer today.
Water as well.
I'm tired. It's like worked, and then I got this 3.5-year-old. Like the wife's got me doing chores. She's like, I want screens in the sunroom because I forgot we didn't have like the previous owners like took some of them out for like we didn't move into like the middle of November, so like they took some of them out, which was fine. And she kept bugging me. But I'm like, all right. So I get the first two. She couldn't get them in. I'm like, this is easy. So I put them in, and then I get ready to put the third one in, and I look, and there's like a big hole. I'm like, you got to fix this. And she's like, oh. So I'm going to go put my new lawnmower together. I was going to go to the gas station, fill up the gas can, and cut the grass for the first time.
Very cheap now, too.
Huh?
For gas, very cheap.
Oh, my God, man. Over here, it's like I think it's like $1.55 or some crap.
Yeah, by my dad, it's $1.20 right now. Up in Round Lake.
And it's going to keep going down. Think about that. So that's pretty cool. So, but no, Daryl, I did not. I was so excited. I'm going to cut my grass today. I'm going to plant this. Got to put the first treatment on. I got my new spreader. I got the yard ready to go and start to kick some ass. I knew it was going to rain. It'd get in there. And boom. This grass is going to be greener and shit. And then I am told I got to pull a bush. Daryl, this Bush kicked my ass. Bush won in a landslide. I lost big time. I will put it this way, Daryl. I am extremely mad. It took me.
What the?
Game was it's what about as wide as these two combined screens, and probably, God, it was at least 5-6 feet deep. I was like, you could bury a body in this thing. It was just unreal. I got my little guy. I'm cussing up a storm, and he's telling me it's okay, Dada. He's like, I still love you. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, calm down a little bit, and I'm getting more of it out. I got this last half. I cannot get it. I'm moving, like piping and shit like that. Probably what I shouldn't be doing. And I just screamed out, "A son of a!" And I said, "Son of a beep." He just looks at me and starts singing "The Wheels on the Bus." Like, what are you doing? Like, looking at him, he's just going, "The wheels on the bus go round," and I'm like, you know what? I'm getting mad at my kids singing to me. Let's sing. And you know what happened? I got that crap out. All because, Daryl, of the wheels on the bus. And then the worst part.
Round, huh?
Oh, and the wipers on the bus go swish, swish, swish. If you didn't know. The things you will learn and go back to your youth, all because of children, man. And when you guys have children, it's like quite amazing. So I'm like, all right, I got this done. I'm like, it was only like 5. I think, okay, I can go to the gas station. I still got to put the lawnmower together. Because I asked her, I'm like, hey, you put it together. Of course, it was not together. And so yeah, I'll get the gas. I'll put it together. I'll order dinner because she wanted pasta. So I'm like, all right, pasta Monday. We're at a place we go to, 2 for 1. Chicken parm. She gets the masticholi. I'm like, all right, I'll eat. Get a late night cut in. And hopefully I can at least get the first treatment on. I can put the preen around the edging and we'll be good to go. And it starts raining. And there went everything. And I said, I'm fucking done. Done. This shit can wait.
No lawnmower for Steve today.
It can wait till Thursday. Everyone else cut their grass. Not at my house. My grass ain't big, so I don't know how we got into cutting grass, but we should probably talk some Monday Night Raw here. And wow.
Listen. This is valuable information for people to hear. All right. If you see a bush, just sing "Wheels on the Bus" and you'll get through it.
It was just like the weirdest. It's so amazing that, and you don't think, and I never thought about this until I had children, because it's like, I'm a high temper guy. I'm like, I wear my heart on my sleeve, and this kid is as cool as a cucumber, cool as the other side of the pillow. Like, I was working out, like, I brought the computer on the deck and I worked out there for probably the last like hour of my day. So I'm sitting there working on an article, and I just look up, kids dribbling the soccer, solid. Out the Sunday the video, solid ass dribbling for 3.5. Like I'm like, my neighbor behind me, I'm like, used to be a soccer coach. He goes, "How old's your son?" And I'm like, "He's 3.5." And I'm like, oh, when does he turn 4? I'm like, oh, beginning of August. He's like, you got to get him in soccer. Like, he's got some real good. He's dribbling really good. He's dribble kicking already. He's dribbling with the left and he's kicking with the right. And I'm like, and I'm looking and I'm like, holy crap! But he don't know what he's doing. But the kid's having fun. And I'm like, you know what? There's worse problems in the world. I'm like, if I gotta rip apart a bush and it takes me 2 hours, whatever. He's singing "Wheels on the Bus," man. I look at my wife and she's just like, "Why are you so happy?" And I'm like, because I was so mad like 30 minutes ago, and this kid starts singing, and I'm now just fine. I'm like, I'm tired. I ain't gonna do nothing the rest of the day. But this kid just sang, and I ripped apart the bush like I was the Incredible Hulk. So hey, all is good.
Kids for you.
Oh, dude, freaking, he's amazing. And he's more amazing in his singing and soccer skills are better than what I saw on Monday Night Raw tonight. Rough.
Oh, God.
That was... God, I want to try, and I get killed on Twitter that I'm anti-WWE. I try not to be anti-WWE, everybody. But when I continuously see one misstep after another, this show is redundant. All we're seeing is a bunch of squash matches. They're not going long at all. I think the longest match tonight was Theory and Black, and that still wasn't. It was good, but
what about
matches like that in an empty arena? I don't want to see more than like 13, 14 minutes. That's about my max. If I can see a bunch of 10-minute matches, I'm cool. But I don't need to see 3 to 4 minute matches. It's just redundant. And the girls are trying. I'm not trying to say they're not, because they are. But this is getting to the point now where I'm bored. And I texted you, I'm bored. I got bored after the first segment. I turned it off for about 20 minutes. I was so annoyed by that opening segment. I was like, and I love McIntyre. The promo was fine. But I was just annoyed. And I'm like, because I see that, then I see freaking Jerry Lawler, who I'm looking at that in a minute. But like, that was just like the tip of the iceberg for me. And then the rest of the show just really dragged.
It's the common thing as always, where WWE always has to start with the following: a promo that should be in the middle of the show, with a following opening match that should be the actual start of the show. Because Aleister Black and Austin Theory, in my opinion, should have started the show. They would have started on a high note. Same thing as what happened with I'm blanking on the match right now, and that happened on SmackDown. They should have started the show instead.
Oh, Daniel Bryan and Cesaro.
Bryan and Cesaro. They should have started the show. Instead, they went for a moment of bliss with Braun Strowman, because the champ has to start the show. It makes no sense, like, to me whatsoever. You want to start the show at a high note. You want to go from here. If basically you don't want to start low, because once you set the bar low, it's never going to go up. It's going to stay there. It's going to stay there. Maybe it'll go up a little bit, but the viewers want to see a good start and then just flow through the rest. They don't want to start boring, because then they'll do like you and shut it off for 20 minutes and then come back, and then they're like, all right, why am I watching this? I'm going to turn it off again. That's what's always killed WWE programming, because it's always, and they had good spots today, and we'll get to those in a minute, but you always start with a promo. It's predictable. You go with a promo, heel guy comes out, sets up main event for the night. Cue good match, squash match, and it's the same thing over and over and over and over and over, and it gets old. You know exactly when you have to go pee, when you have to go get a snack, when you can go through the guide, check out what else is playing, stuff like that, and it's really hurting the product, especially with no fans like in the stands.
It's one of those things though where it's
squash match.
You get to
and it's the same thing.
It's like you get to the point of where, like, when you stop, like when does WWE come to that realization of you have to stop doing these? Like, they don't have to air shows. This is like the killer thing that gets me so irritated, is the fact that we don't need to see these every week. You can run, like, if they were in tape shows, oh my God, I would be ecstatic. Like, there is no point right now that we have to see these shows. There's not. Like, why? What is the point if Fox and USA, which they're paying them, as long as there's some type of content on there every Monday night at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, and every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, and every Friday on Fox at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, they're good. So what are we doing here? We're just wasting people's time. You're endangering people's health. For what? I would love to be told why. I still don't have an explanation. And it's ridiculous. This still shouldn't be happening.
And it's something, like I said, you'll never receive an explanation. That's not.
I asked today. I didn't get an answer I was looking for. I was given an interview. I don't know if it was to quiet me down or what, but it was like, I'm just like, this is getting ridiculous. And I don't hate WWE. I think WWE is great. I think for what they've been able to do and what they've turned all of this into is spectacular. It's a testament to Vince McMahon and his will and his dedication. But it's got to come to that point to where you have to think about your talent. You have to think about, it's not even oversaturation. The product's been oversaturated for years. It's now to the point, Daryl, to where you got to do what's best for your company as a whole. You're still going to make $127 million if you don't hold a show the remainder of the year. Think about that. That's a lot of money, man. I don't care what people say. That's a ton of cash. We don't need to be doing this straight. Like, there wasn't much good about the show. This is what we learned from the show tonight. Drew McIntyre is facing Seth Rollins for the WWE Championship. Okay. I still don't get the story. What did Seth Rollins do to earn the title match? From what Drew McIntyre said, he curb stomped him twice in the center of the ring. That was the reason. Didn't Seth Rollins lose at WrestleMania to Kevin Owens? If fair is fair, make it a triple threat match, put Kevin Owens in there. I'm fine with that idea. I didn't learn anything of what Rollins did to get the title shot. We got new participants in the Money in the Bank ladder match. We got Aleister Black, Apollo Crews, and Rey Mysterio. Black defeated Austin Theory. Crews defeated MVP and Rey Mysterio in an upset. I thought, me and you talked about that. We'll talk about that more. Defeated Buddy Murphy. And on the women's side, Shayna Baszler, Asuka, and Nia Jax. Kind of expected. I really wasn't expecting. I was expecting all three ladies to get into the match. So we didn't learn much out of that. And we'll get right into the show. And like we talked about with Drew, explain why Rollins is getting the shots. Zelina Vega came out with Andrade, Austin Theory, and Angel Garza, who would be facing Drew McIntyre in the main event. Andrade came up from behind. He got Claymore kicked out of his boots. I will say the Claymore is a badass move.
Oh, yeah. Easily one of the best finishers in the company right now. Or in the world, actually.
Drew McIntyre's a stud. It's just, he's getting royally screwed. He's getting no favors done to him right now, and I think that's just, it's just unfortunate.
It's tragic.
Now, this is where I turned it off, because I could have dealt with that crappy opening segment. But then I see Byron Saxton, Tom Phillips, and Jerry the King Lawler not practicing their social distancing, and they are all right on top of each other like they are at a club. Right there and then, I turned it off. What in the hell is Jerry Lawler doing at Raw? If someone in dear Lord in life can explain this to me, and I'm going to come off like a dick here, but if Jerry Lawler got coronavirus, I would not feel bad. He had it coming. This guy's had a heart attack. Like, his immune system is always had a heart attack. He's had health issues. That's like, what in the blue moon is WWE doing allowing him there? I know for a fact, Tony Khan told Jim Ross, you are not coming. Stay home. We'll let you do voiceovers. We'll find ways to integrate you into the show, and that's what they've done. It boggles. I know Jim's not a fan of it, but Jim gets it. Jim's going to be a team player, and he knows it's best for his health. Jerry Lawler doesn't give a crap, and apparently Vince McMahon doesn't either. Because that really, I don't know if it bothers you, but it pisses me off to no end.
I mean, of course it bothers me. The man, like you said, had a heart attack in the middle of a show. Like a live Raw. He had a heart attack. People know of his issues. People know he is up there in age. And people know also that the main exposures for the coronavirus have been older people. That's been the main, demographic in deaths among the entire world. Why would you expose Jerry Lawler, who's how old is he now? He's in his 60s, 70s.
He's 70.
Yeah. Why would you expose him just to come and narrate an empty arena Monday Night Raw? Jerry Lawler is a name that you bring in for like a special match, that you have crowds, that you have people there. You say, hey, now guest announcing Jerry the King Lawler. The music plays, he gets a pop, we all go home happy. He's not in. I'm saying this for a talent perspective, not health wise. Health wise, there's no reason he should be there.
No.
But talent wise, there's no reason he should be there either. You need the commentators have always been, and I don't know why they always have three now. Have always been two. It's always been basically one commentator and a collar guy. That's it. That's always been the formula, and they've always integrated a third one. Especially now, you can have two. Tom Phillips, Byron Saxton. If those are your two choices, run with it, I guess.
No.
They're not my preferred choice, but it is what it is.
I'd rather have
But
Tom.
have it at least.
I
like Tom Phillips.
I'd rather have Tom Phillips do it by himself. Byron Saxton is god awful, horrible. I'm sorry.
He ruined a lot of WrestleMania matches, and I told you.
We all know there's a reason why Byron Saxton is doing Monday Night Raw. Plain and simple. We're not going to get into that because that's an issue that's not pertinent. But there is a reason, and if people can't figure it out, get a clue, get with the program, because there is only one reason why, and it's not because he's talented. Jerry Lawler is fantastic, and Sexton brings every broadcaster down that he has worked with. I don't know how it happens. He's like the death knell.
I still remember texting you during WrestleMania. Why is he here? Why is he calling Edge and Orton? Why is he calling? Like, I'd rather have Michael Cole for the entire 3 hours, just Michael Cole, than hear Byron Saxton's words anywhere.
You know what was so sad? JBL was more tolerable than Byron Saxton. And I hate JBL.
I know you do.
It's not because he blocked me or any of that nonsense. I just think he's a bully. And that whole situation with Mauro Ronaldo was absolutely terrible.
Who is the best commentator they have right now?
Oh, it's
easily.
Mauro. It's Mauro, Lawler, Nigel. I liked Vic Joseph. I'm a Vic Joseph fan.
I like Vic Joseph. Yeah.
If I'm ranking, it's Mauro, Nigel, Lawler, Vic Joseph, Tom Phillips, Beth Phoenix, Michael Cole, Corey Graves, and then Byron Saxton. And Corey Graves used to be great. I don't know what happened. I don't know if Corey Graves was just doing too much, and he just got put with Michael Cole and got dragged to the gutter. I'm gonna go with the latter because Corey Graves in NXT was with Tom Phillips was fantastic.
Yeah.
And anyone that tries to tell me differently has no idea what the hell they're talking about.
I agree, and Michael Cole seems to have a trend here. Anyone you sit next to him, it's just, I'm sorry, dude, you're done. I'm so sorry. You know who's a name that I would like to see, and we saw a little glimpse of it in NXT, and I don't know how we got to the announcing team, but just throwing it up. Just throwing it up.
Byron Saxton, you got me rambling.
I didn't bring it up. You brought it up.
Oh, I did.
But we're here. So, Pat McAfee. I would like to see him call at least a couple, just to see what he can do. He called one match, sounded fine. The guy has good personality. Why not?
You know what? And Pat McAfee is a fellow DAZN employee. I should have said, hey, I work for Sporting News and DAZN, but everyone knows that.
Yeah.
Pat's great. I love his show. I have it on in my office every day when I'm down there, and I start at 9 a.m. Central Time. It just starts, and he's great.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, I remember when WWE was here for Survivor Series weekend, and I got there early, and I forget who he was doing the pre-show with, and he was awesome. Oh my God. Like, the suit was amazing. He knew how to play the crowd. And, like, I texted him when I'm like, you were great. And he's like, wait, you're here? I'm like, dude, I live in Chicago. I'm like, yeah. So we hung out afterwards. And he's just like, it's like the one thing he wants to do. He wants to call wrestling matches. Yeah. He's like, if I ever just call, like, he's like, I don't even care if I do get told, hey, can you do main event? He said he'd do it. Why not? I like Pat McAfee. I think Pat is great. I would love to see Pat get an opportunity. I think Pat would be better than he can replace Corey Graves and Byron Saxton, and I would be legitimately cool with that. But that's just one man metaphor.
Hopefully, we gotta speak it. We gotta speak it into existence, man.
Power McAfee. I'll have to message Pat.
Yeah.
See if he doesn't answer my texts anymore, so I'll have to email. So I'll try to. I don't know why. People
busiest man in sports.
What's that?
He's the busiest man in sports, according to his YouTube page.
Oh my God, he's all over the place.
Oh yeah.
His podcast with Barstool was great, but he's better with DAZN. He knew to come and join the big boys. Let's see. We continue first match. Aleister Black defeated Austin Theory to qualify for the Money Bank ladder match. A little bit under 12 minutes, and this was perfect because they didn't overstay their welcome. This was like right at the happy medium. I was okay. With this. Selena Vega on commentary. First of all, way too many people, but she was spectacular. She could replace she can replace him. And I think the cool part was she commentated her husband's match. To me, that was cool. Just like a little extra added wrinkle. I thought was just pretty neat. But pretty much a back and forth match. Theory kind of really changed when Black hit him with the knee, German suplex, Black mask for the win. Match was good. It wasn't great. It was good. It was the best thing we saw on the show, which wasn't saying much. And I expected a little bit better, but I thought Theory looked okay. It wasn't a total squash. It was Theory did get some offense in. Yeah. To me, it feels like they rushed him up, obviously. He wasn't planning to be here. I think he's making the most of the opportunity, but I wish they would give him a little more. He's in with a good group, but I just wish he'd get a little more offense in the matches.
Yeah, definitely. And being with that group, and this is something I'm going to get to once we get to the end of the show, because I have a big issue with this. Being with the group that he currently is, he had the potential to actually use that group. Like when they first brought Rollins, Murphy, and AOP together, they had the potential to make Murphy into a superstar, take that next step. I thought that this was Austin Theory's way to get into the mid-card and actually have a solid spot there. And so far, they haven't given him, the top chance. This match hopefully proves that he actually can hang in there and have good matches with people. Because Aleister Black this is the third week in a row that he actually carries the show. Because he's had performance after performance after performance. Also, finisher-wise, the Black Mass, I can put it up there with the Claymore. Because that thing is a beaut to watch.
My little... God, who did? I think it was WrestleMania when he faced Lashley. And I was watching upstairs. I was like, next. Me and you both weren't that motivated. So I watched it upstairs. I covered it upstairs. I usually come down, watch it in the office, and I'll sit and watch. So I'll sit upstairs. And he's watching me, and he just thought that move was off the shit. Loved it. It's like, what a awesome move. Cool. And it showed a replay, and I'm like, damn, that move was legit. Like, he hits it and it's like, pow, pow, pow.
It's awesome. It's arguably the best move right now, too, along with the Claymore.
Oh, absolutely. I couldn't agree more with that one. Hopefully, I wouldn't mind seeing Aleister Black win the Money in the Bank. Just throwing that out there. We'll get more into that in a few weeks, but I wouldn't mind seeing that. And we go, Shayna Baszler defeated Indy Hartwell. And not in a minute. I like what they're doing with Baszler here. They know she's limited. So just having her go out and batter people, beat them up.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. That's what you got to do with her. And I like the fact of where she holds on to the move. She brought the ladder in after the match. She's beat her up, Hartwell up at the ladder. It just kicked her arm and they may act like they broke her arm. I just thought, like, what they're doing with her is the right way to go. They're not going to bury her. They're going to keep her strong. I don't even think she wins Money in the Bank. I'm like, I know they're eventually going to go back to it. They should. But I think it leads to Ronda. That's why I think the end game of that entire situation, I think it leads back to Ronda. Because she lost clean. So what is my motivation to want to see Shayna? What is my reasoning? Because she won Money in the Bank? Okay. It's kind of predictable. They could go that route. They're a predictable company. But I think it all leads to Ronda. Because I think Becky beats her again. I think it has to go to Ronda. Am I right? Or am I really kind of...
I mean, that's the one match that everybody wanted to see. Everybody wanted to see Becky Lynch versus Ronda, and then they threw Charlotte in there. And I'm not saying that it was a bad match. That was sort of the... Yeah, it was a good, okay match.
Should have closed the show. I have no problem with it. It was the right moment because you look at where Becky's at now. At least I think Becky's the number one draw in that company right now.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Gets great reaction. Well, there is no crowd right now, but she's in that right spot, I think.
Yeah, and at the time you had Ronda Rousey, who was also one of those main attractions people wanted to see, and then Charlotte Flair, arguably one of the, if not the top female wrestler in the company. Arguably. I see you giving me the face, and I don't think so. But
go ahead. I must be in the minority on Charlotte Flair. I don't see it. Like, she's got a good presence, but how has she grown as a performer? I just don't think she hasn't evolved. She wasn't able, and this is what was so great about Rick. And Rick hated being a baby, but Rick can go. Rick was better as a heel, but Rick was able to go baby. If he had to go baby, he'd go baby, and then he can go back to being heel in the drop of a hat, and he's the biggest heel in the company. But then if he needed to go baby, he could be the biggest baby face in the company and draw a ton of money. Charlotte Flair doesn't have that, and it's not. I can't buy in this. It feels like it's like this thing with Roman, where she gets pushed down your throat so much. It's hard to get emotionally invested. You know, if that makes any sense. Like with Becky, Becky Lynch, you had like that growth where she had to battle from underneath. I had a reason to care. Her conviction was so strong to where with Charlotte Flair it comes contrived. It comes off like it's because she's Ric Flair's daughter. Don't get me wrong. She's good in the ring. She's very good in the ring. You know, and I know Rick is very humble and saying, oh, she's better than I ever was. That's him being nice. That's his daughter. He's going to say that. I don't think it's close. I don't think no one can hold a candle to Ric Flair. I'm the person that can, I'd like to meet him. But I get why they push her. It's the Flair name. She is a good wrestler. She does hold her own. I'm not going to lie and say she's bad in her because she is good in her. She makes people better. But I don't think she's great. That's just me, but we can go. I can have that conversation all day. Let's go. In a match that was where this kind of started, where I started getting more back. But I'm glad they won. Ricochet and Cedric Alexander defeated Shane Thorne and Brendan Vick in a little over 3 minutes. Nothing really, just more squash.
It's something that they're trying to
win.
Yeah. Basically, them trying to find something to do with Ricochet. They don't have anything, so they're like, hey, we're not doing anything with Cedric Alexander. Let's put them together, see what happens. I like them together. I think they have a good potential to be a great tag team.
And they're two Paul Heyman guys.
Yeah. And hopefully they end up actually, getting used and getting some time, because that's what talent that comes up from NXT is lacking. They don't get the time. They don't get the right opportunity. They say they get opportunities, not the right ones.
He's got to pray Vince doesn't see him.
God. I can imagine Heyman, because Heyman now sits to the right of McMahon. And I've seen pictures of it. I can
feel bad for Paul.
I could see Paul just being like, hey Vince, so you see that thing on the wall? Please play the match. Just don't let him look. Don't let him look.
You just look at, poor Ricochet going into that program with Brock. I was like, come on. You mean to tell me you couldn't have given Ricochet 3 minutes of offense?
No.
Let him hit his hits. Let him play to the hits. Then Brock can F5 him, German him about 15 times, and Ricochet'd sell it like $1 million. Let him hit the 450. He gave a hope spot heading to 450. He didn't even do that. It was just like, hey, we're gonna squash you. You're a jobber. Here's a check. Go to Saudi Arabia and get your ass kicked. Here's an extra 50 grand. It's like, God damn. That was a travesty. But hopefully, I would like to see them do something. Them in the Street Profits, I think, would be pretty solid. I'm not getting my hopes up about that. Charlie Caruso interviewed Kairi Sane and Asuka. Caruso wondered how Sane would fare in her rematch tonight with Nia Jax in the Money in the Bank qualifying match. Asuka, is there anyone better right now on the mic than Asuka? She's great.
She's the MVP of the PC era in WWE.
Oh God, she
easily
gets me through these empty arena shows. Bobby Lashley was at the gym inside the PC with Lana.
Talk about somebody that you feel bad for. Bobby Lashley.
Oh, dude.
So much talent. Nothing.
I knew when they were in talks with him, I messaged him. And I'm like, I'll reveal on there. I have a good enough relationship with Bobby. And I'm like, you talking with him? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I'm thinking about it. But this is when he was still in MMA. And I'm like, okay, you're in MMA. I'm like, why don't you stay at Impact? You do MMA, you can make great money. You're starting to develop. You're starting to become a contender. And he signs with WWE. It's like, they weren't going to let him talk. He was good on the mic in Impact. I thought his mic work on Impact was great. And then we've seen what happened. And I feel, like I said, I feel bad for Lana. Your husband is gone. And you got to watch this big, burly guy with bulging muscles, and your husband's at home thinking, you better get home right now, damn it. Marriages break up in wrestling, man. I feel bad for that. It's just a bad. Like you look at with Sarah Logan and Eric Ibar, they're divorced. They're married. She gets released. You look at. I'm trying to think if there are any. At least the Canellises are together. Hey, they announced a podcast.
That was a big announcement.
Not an essential podcast. It's fucking awesome. God, they're both great people. Maria is great. So, and she's a very intelligent woman, and Mike Bennett is a very underrated in the ring. I think I've always been a Mike. I think Maria does a lot of good stuff and very smart. And from Joliet, Illinois, by the way.
Isn't Mike Bennett from here too?
I think they moved to Kentucky. I want to say, I know they moved. I know they don't live here anymore. I don't think. Because I know Juice Robinson used to live in Joliet too, but he moved to Japan.
Yeah. Well, he's making a career for himself over there.
Oh, dude. Juice is. Can't wait to see some Japanese wrestling. He'll definitely help out the wrestling scene right now. They hyped again Triple H anniversary show on SmackDown. We'll talk about that on Friday. Nia Jax defeated Kairi Sane a little over 4 minutes. Really nothing to it. It was more Nia playing the big bad bruiser. Sane kept trying to come back. She finally got a little bit of some hope spots, a couple punches, spinning back fist, had pretty good forearm. Tried for the insane elbow. Jackson got out of the way, hit the Samoan drop for the win. I like the little smack in the face when they were done. It was just kind of like that. You suck. I don't know. I like Nia Jax. I think she's a better version of Tamina. So I don't know why Tamina's around.
I'm on the fence.
I know why she's around, but
yeah,
but
I'm on the fence when it comes to Nia Jax.
Why is that?
She's reckless in the ring. One of the based on her career trajectory, I'm like, she's hurt shit out of people. And I don't mean to curse, my bad.
No, you're not wrong. But look what it did for Becky Lynch.
Oh, I remember I wrote an article about that. I sent it to you.
And I remember that, and it was just like that, and you could tell, like, right when she hit her. Like, I remember seeing the video. Someone put it up. A fan put it up because they were at the show. Yeah. And you can just tell. But, man, instinct. Becky Lynch, that was the night. If you're going to think of a moment for Becky Lynch, it was that moment right there. Where she went from, she was getting the rub to where she became the man. That's where it grew, and that's where it was born, and it got her to where she's at right now. And I can't fault Becky Lynch for that at all. And that's good on her. Seth Rollins accepted the challenge. Drew McIntyre, a match I don't know why is happening. Said it wasn't personal; it was necessary. The WWE universe needed a leader, but as much as they had in common, he's a proven leader, and McIntyre is not. He'd be the light in the darkness and take the title at Money in the Bank, not because he wants to, but because he has to. I do like Rollins' promo delivery in this gimmick. It works. He's got on the mic in, but I think with that David Koresh mannerism and tone in his voice, I think Seth Rollins is great in this role. He really, really is.
Yeah, and it's something he desperately needed, especially after last year's babyface run that he had. Fans didn't like him, I guess. And honestly, this fits him perfectly. And every babyface needs a heel.
Yeah.
A good heel to work with. Hogan had Piper. Sting had Flair. Sting also had Hogan. You can think of Cena had JBL. I know you hate JBL. You need a good heel to get that babyface over to the next level. I think Rollins would be that perfect heel to go for Drew McIntyre. They would be good. Like, they would have good matches. The promos have been good so far. You just needed the reasoning behind their actual rivalry to be better. Because right now, the only thing is, hey, I curb stomped you in the middle of the ring twice last week. Here's my title match. You could have had a better build for this match because it's a money match. Some people may disagree, but it's a money match in my opinion.
It is. It's been built horribly. There's no. If you're gonna go with Seth should have won at Mania, not the other way around.
Or at least have something going on where, for example, you have McIntyre going in a different direction. Go up against, I don't know.
Yeah, but who do you put him with at that point?
That is a good point.
And this is the problem with this company is they don't build enough people up. They slot a certain amount of people, and then no one's allowed to get past a certain barrier, and everyone's pigeonholed and has a role. So you only have a few select guys, and on the Raw brand, all you really got is Seth. Where you could give Lashley a shot. You turn Black heel. You can go KO. Kevin Owens can go heel. Like, you can go different routes, but it's routes they don't choose to go.
Yeah. I would have preferred to see Bobby Lashley with Drew McIntyre, especially because they have something to build towards. Like, they were tag team, like a sort of a tag team back then.
Yeah.
They were in that one group, and then just have it built that way, because Money in the Bank doesn't draw as much attention as like a SummerSlam does. That's where I would have had Rollins McIntyre. Have it built up to that. Have Rollins beat KO one more time or once in Money in the Bank. Have him blow over. And I know this is contradicting what I said in Mania, where I hope that rivalry is over. But if you're going to build Rollins to be the next contender, that's what you're going to have to do. That's the thing. They don't have a long-term planning. They only plan now. And that's what hurts them in the long run. Because then it becomes predictable. They're like, okay, well, they don't have anywhere else to go, so they're going to go there. And that's what's hurting the product a lot.
That's been hurting them for so long, and it's that thing of where, that's why I like what AEW is doing, because it's long-term storytelling. They don't have pay-per-views every month, but this is where a thing at WWE can do tag matches that headline pay-per-views. You can have them face the champion, defend against someone else to help build the story to where you get to the peak of the feud, and that's when they meet, and that's when they clash. That's what worked in the 80s. That's what worked. It worked in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and even the early 2000s. You don't get that now. It's always boom, 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 because they don't trust the fans enough to where they don't think they can keep their interest for that long amount of time. Look at what AEW did with Moxley and Jericho. That was like an 8-9 week build, and it was a great program, and it peaked perfectly at Revolution. It can be done. They just don't do it because they don't have faith in I don't think they have faith in their creative. I don't think and the most important thing, Vince McMahon doesn't have faith in his talent. You don't have faith in your talent. That's on you. That means you need to get the right guys in there. And I just don't think. I don't think he trusts the creative team. I don't think he trusts himself, and more importantly, he doesn't trust the talent.
And you could tell, especially when, and you could tell that Vince doesn't trust his talent when you have WrestleMania, the biggest show of the year. You got Goldberg in a title match. You have Lesnar in a title match. You have Taker in a big match. Cena in a big match. These are guys that are not around for full time in the year, but they're also guys that were pretty much superstars in '98, 2002, 2006. Taker has been a superstar since '90. He's already going into 30 years. He's had a 30-year career now.
See,
my mess.
This is where I agree with you about The Undertaker and Goldberg, but I do disagree with you about Brock Lesnar. Because Brock Lesnar knows Brock Lesnar's great in the ring. Number two, he knows how to put guys over in the right spots. He can work. He's a mainstream attraction. And people want to see him. People pay to see him. Okay. And many of those guys. He is one of them, to where Goldberg's very limited work-wise. He's got a lot of charisma. It's a ratings draw. Or The Undertaker is just a special attraction. But Brock Lesnar he fills in those gaps to where Bill Goldberg and The Undertaker can't. And I get why Brock isn't around all the time. I get it. I don't blame him. I wouldn't be around either. See, this product is awful. I don't blame him. He can go up to Saskatchewan and fish and hunt and be in his tractor for 10 hours a day. I would do the same thing if I had to deal with that nonsense. Apollo Crews defeated MVP to qualify for the Money in the Bank ladder match. this match just got off to a horrid start when after their ring entrance, about a minute in, they go right to a commercial. It was just like, what the heck are you doing? MVP.
Gotta love those commercial breaks.
MVP hit the playmaker for a near fall. Cruz came back with an enziguri, press slam, standing moonsault, standing shooting star press, and a spin-up powerbomb for the pinfall win. I love the match, but I love Apollo Cruz's setup spots to the spin-out powerbomb, and which is a very impressive move. And why MVP was in this match, I don't know. But I thought Cruz looked really good here. Hopefully they do something with him because that's a guy that he's got the talent. Just let him go. Let him be him. He's got the charisma. He's got the in-ring work. He's got size. If you're gonna push, he's got the body. He's believable, which is what Vince likes. Let him go now. Let's see what he can do. Because how he looked tonight, give him MVP credit. He knows how to put a guy over. And he did a good job here with Apollo Crews.
Yeah, MVP you can tell that MVP can still contribute something because the guy can still deliver a good promo. He can still have that promo that can put over a guy like he did tonight with Apollo Crews. Like he mentioned, he's like, "Hey, you're pretty good at NXT, but you're not Raw good." You know what I mean? And that's a legit promo that people think. That makes it like a reality-based storyline, which is good. It's money. And Apollo Crews, I said last week, he's a talented wrestler that I want to see actually have time. You give him time, you give him the opportunity, he'll run with it. You just got to give him the right opportunity. You can't just give him an opportunity, hey, here's a program with The Miz that he's going to screw you over by winning by cheating, that he does a million times. That's not a good opportunity. You got to give him something. You got to give him a partner that's going to make him shine, and that's what MVP did tonight. And I actually enjoyed seeing like what Apollo Crews did tonight because this moveset is impressive. Not many people can do a standing moves like a standing blanking on words, but all the moves that he made today were actually pretty good, pretty impressive.
They were.
Yeah, if you have a moveset like that, it's pretty good. You can just give him the ball. Let him run away with it, see what happens. What's the worst that can happen? You write him off by Survivor Series? Oh, well, it is what it is. But at least you gave him the opportunity. At least he doesn't fall back on, hey, they didn't give me an opportunity. They buried me before I could even get started. And that's where WWE lacks. They never give talent an opportunity to just run away with the ball. They preach that they want people to stand out, but they don't set them up for it. They set them up for failure instead. And that's something that's always buried, basically, NXT superstars. That's buried. You've seen Sami Zayn, Nakamura, Cesaro. You've seen Kevin Owens at times in programs that he shouldn't have been in. Ricochet, don't get me started with Ricochet. Hopefully they're doing something with Aleister Black in the near future. The only real success stories were The Shield. That's it. Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch. That's it.
Hey, Drew McIntyre.
But Drew McIntyre was a superstar before you even got here. Everybody knew he was going to shine anywhere. The work that he did in Impact, that was awesome work that he did there. And then he made a name for himself to the point where WWE couldn't say no to the guy. Then NXT, he blew it out of the water, had a great program with Andrade. Then they brought him up. They had him serve as a lackey for the first year. Whereas they made him like this unstoppable force, and then they fed him to Roman Reigns. They had him lose to Roman Reigns a lot. And then he kind of like faded away. Out of nowhere, he came back again, and now he's the guy that everybody thought he was going to be. Did he need that? Maybe. But at the same time, he kind of wasted a year of Drew McIntyre doing that. Because Drew McIntyre is a stud. Instead of the spot that you should have given to him, you gave it to Jinder Mahal.
I watched a video today because it was the anniversary of Jinder Mahal pinning Randy Orton here in Chicago to become the WWE champion. God, I had never been so ashamed to be a part of be at a wrestling show, and I was there as a fan. I'm not going to go any further because I'm going to get mad. Liv Morgan defeated Ruby Riott. A little back and forth, not horrible. I wish they would have gotten a couple more minutes. Morgan hit the flatliner. Pretty cool move. Off the ropes for the win. Yeah, announcers teased it seemed like Morgan was done with the ride. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Back in the PC gym, Lashley was all warmed up. Lana said he wasn't warm. He was hot. Lashley flipped the tractor tire. He admitted that any world-class athlete could flip that tire, but questioned if they can flip a much bigger one. They had one that seemed twice. Okay. A very cool tribute video for Howard Finkel. And then Rey Mysterio defeated Murphy to qualify for the Money in the Bank ladder match. Some really good action here, I thought, from both guys. And it seemed like Murphy was going to get the win. Hit the fireman's carry neck breaker, the knee strike. He hit, not the knee strike, I wish they would. I just wish they would call it the V trigger. Go V-Trigger! V-Trigger, Brainbuster. Mysterio came back for the Sunset Flip Powerbomb, a Canadian Destroyer, 619, followed by the Frog Splash for the win. Really, really good. I thought a really good match. Wrong Guy won. I don't get... I guess for star power is just about the only reason why I can see Rey Mysterio in the match. Overall, a fantastic match. I just think the wrong guy won here.
Yeah, especially when you saw, and you and I were texting back and forth about this. Murphy has that personality that you can stick the Money in the Bank briefcase in him, and it actually works. Because the Money in the Bank briefcase, I've always seen it as something a heel wins, because it brings that shocking factor. Edge basically started the trend for that. You've had few baby faces, and then, we're going to do this honorable match or whatever. I don't like that. I'm more of okay, catch me by surprise, let's see what happens. Murphy had the potential of doing that.
Yeah.
Especially if the champ would have been Seth Rollins later in the year. Wouldn't that have been an awesome program to go by? Rollins wins the title. Finally, he wins the title off McIntyre. Muddy Murphy comes in after being, his lackey, for lack of a better term, wins the title, takes it away from him. What's next? That's a good program to have. But, oh well, I'm just a guy in Mount Prospect, Illinois that doesn't know, right?
I'm a guy from Tinley Park, man, so I'm a guy I wish I can say more, but I'm just a guy from Tinley Park who writes about people and talks about people.
Yep.
Let's see. I will say more in a week.
Actually, I heard. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I heard what it's like being a writer for Vince McMahon. I'm good. Thank you, though. So I want to do that.
Not fun for my. Very bad. I'll leave it at that. There's better places to work. Charlotte Flair defeated Aiden Carter. Squash. There was really nothing to talk about there. The pack at the gym. They keep going, and Lashley is at this gym. Not sure we can move that 450-pound tire, but if anyone can do it, it could be Bobby. Attempted a couple times, it barely moved. Then he flipped it over without much of a problem, and Lana, the ravishing Russian, was very impressed by her man Lashley. Let's get to the United States champion Andrade with Zelina Vega defeated Akira Tozawa in a non-title match in a little bit under 5 minutes. This is one I wish would have gotten another 5. Because it's one of those matches where we're just getting into a rhythm. And then it just got cut off at the legs. Tozawa hit the super kick, went to the top. Andrade knocked him down, hit the elevated hammerlock DDT for the win. Street Profits came out. They danced on the table. So you had 5 people in close proximity of each other, Daryl. Not social distancing. No social distancing at all. Andrade and Tozawa. I like the fact Tozawa's getting a little more time. He's losing, but he's getting more time.
The only thing I don't like about this is the fact that you have someone that has a legit shot of winning the Cruiserweight title and a match on Raw that can technically be considered a squash match. You got some pretty good offense on there, but at the same time, if a guy is supposed to win the Cruiserweight, why is he on Raw losing to Andrade? I guess because of the lack of talent. Like, what's the reasoning behind this? That's the only thing I have. I like the match. It was good. I've always been a fan of Akira Tozawa. He had amazing talent. Always had that. And today he showed a little more aggressiveness, and I like seeing that. But that's the only complaint I got, and that's me picking on that little thing. It's like, why is he there if he's in the tournament for the Cruiserweight title? That's my only.
It's WWE. That's how I view it. Bianca Belair defeated Santana Garrett a little over 4 minutes.
That's all I got.
Not bad. Santana, I like Santana Garrett. Actually, I wish she would get a little more of a bump, but the match wasn't bad. A little bit of a back foot. It was mainly Belair in a one-sided butt kicking. Garrett hit one high hope spot, hit the high cross. Belair kicked out at 1. So it showed, okay, what this was going to happen. And moments later, she hit the KOD for the win. The Street Profits, man. These guys, I could watch Montez Ford all day.
He needs a live mic at all times.
Oh, God.
At all times.
I'd love to hang out with that guy because that guy's this guy. He's like and I don't mean this in a bad way. Because I've experienced this with children, having 2 boys. It's like children have so much energy. It's like a ball of energy. And this guy's just a constant ball of energy. So one thing I really like about Montez Ford, and I like about this team in general, there's a lot of high energy. It gets you excited. When they come out, you know it's high energy. They're there for a purpose. And those teams like WWE can use more people like the Street Profits. And then the main event of the show, we hit a 5-minute squash of Drew McIntyre defeating Angel Garza. It is a one-sided butt kicking, and McIntyre's tossing Garza around off left and right, doing the same thing to Andrade, Austin Theory. A couple Claymores, called it a day. Drew felt so bad, he was bragging to Byron Saxton. He walked back to the ring and kicked his head there. He kicked, God bless, poor Angel Garza. He sold that thing like a champ. Then Austin Theory's pretty face got kicked off too for good measure, and that was it. What'd you think of the main event?
Honestly, the main event was, like you said, a glorified squash match. Why did they set up this heel stable of Andrade, Angel Garza, and Austin Theory as like Selena stable? All of that today seemed like it went up in flames. All of it. You created this in the past month or so. It all went up in flames. You had Drew McIntyre basically destroy that on live TV because he literally kicked the head off of everybody, made every single one of them look like chumps. And that's not good for a heel stable.
Nope. It makes no sense. They looked so good last week. They've been built to be strong. And then you just Hulk smash them like bugs and you call it a day. So now what is my reasoning for wanting to see this? I right now don't have a reason why I should want to see these 3 with Zelina Vega. It's a strong act, but why are they there? What's the purpose? Maybe they get the comeuppance next week. Let's see what happens next week. If we're having this same conversation 7 days from now, then there's a major problem. There really is. But we got, let's see, men's Money in the Bank ladder match on the Raw side. You got Aleister Black, Apollo Crews, Rey Mysterio. The SmackDown side, you have Daniel Bryan. For the women, you have on the Raw side, Shayna Baszler, Asuka, and Nia Jax. And on the women's side, you have Dana Brooke. Coming up this Friday on SmackDown, more qualifying matches for the Money in the Bank. You have Drew Gulak versus Baron Corbin, and Sasha Banks versus Lacey Evans. Hint: we're talking. You'll be hearing Lacey Evans on the podcast later this week. Just a hint. Yes, WWE is very kind after I ripped them into shreds in the last week. Braun Strowman, Bray Wyatt for the Universal title. Drew McIntyre against Seth Rollins for the WWE Championship. Bayley versus Tamina for the SmackDown Women's title. Think about that. Bayley and Tamina.
Other than that match, the card sounds pretty good. Other than that one match.
That's bad. Very bad.
It's predictable. It's that predictable backlash match after WrestleMania where it's like, yeah, we know what's going to happen. Just skip over it. Don't even watch it.
The worst match. The worst match. But what do I know? All right, let's get to what was I going to say? I don't remember. Oh, let's go to the Last Dance real quick. We'll wrap it. We'll talk Last Dance. And we'll get into boxing real quick and just your overall thoughts on the Last Dance. Episode 22.
Awesome. We've been waiting for this for the longest time. We've been waiting for the time that we can get a breakdown of everything that happened, everything that went down 97, 98. Everybody in Chicago had a fairly good idea of what happened. And I know it's not right to bash on a person that's been dead for a while, but Jerry Krause, my God, they just absolutely tore him to shreds in this documentary, and even more on Twitter after people watched it. And I don't know if I mentioned this to you earlier, but Matt Forte out of the Bears started throwing shades. It's like, yeah, that's Chicago management for you. All of Chicago management for you. And I'm like, oh, yeah, you got a point. But it was a great documentary. You always love to see MJ, especially in Chicago. They underpaid Pippen so hard. I didn't know it was that bad. It was so bad.
Now you wonder why he is called No Tippin' Pippin.
Yep. Now I was watching it with my girlfriend too. Me and her used to work in the service industry. We, tips for a living. I looked at her and I'm like, now I know why he was so cheap. As soon as they put the figure, he was the 122nd highest paid NBA player at the time. 122nd.
Think about how sad that is.
And you're one of the top 5 players in the league. Top 3 even, you can argue.
Think about that. Think about how pathetic that is.
Whoever his agent is, man.
Jimmy Sexton is a very, very good agent. He was so worried at the time of not being able to help out his family because, his brother was paralyzed. One of his brothers was paralyzed. His dad had a bad stroke. So it was like he wanted to have that financial security for his family. What if he suffered a career-threatening injury? What if slipped on banana peel and didn't make it? Or, just I think he erred on the side of caution. He ended up making his money in the later stages of his career, but for that time, you're arguably the second best player in the world. And you're getting peanuts. The final year, he is the 6th highest paid guy in the team. Luke Longley's making more money. Jordan's making over $33 million. And mind you, the salary cap in the NBA at the time was only a little bit over $26 million. So the Bulls were already over the threshold. You had Rodman. Kukoc was making more coming off the bench. It's like
Kukoc was making $5 million at the time.
It's like, wow. Just and then Reinsdorf's attitude of, I told him not to take the contract. Told him not to sign it, but you're the one that offered it to him. You advised him not to take it, but you still told him, here's what? Here's the contract anyway. Hoping that he would take it. But you told him to take it. So what was the point of him? What was the point of taking the contract? What was the point of offering to him? If you would have given him, if you paid him $7 million a year, I think he wouldn't have thrown as much of a fit. No. And for all the second best player in the world, arguably, getting paid nothing. He was the 122nd ranked paid player in basketball.
Being a top 3 talent.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not the biggest fan of the world when people pick on the dead. I'm not, because then they can't defend themselves. And I get it. I get the mentality of people make that argument. I get it. It's understandable. But in this situation, they're speaking fact. You're not like, it was the jokes were a little much at times. Like, they're asking him about, like, Jordan asked him, I forget, I think it was coming out for the 5th, at the beginning of the final season together. They're doing the rings. And Jordan's like, you want to coach do layup drills with us? It's like,
oh, yeah.
I couldn't laugh so harder. And I'm like, why are we picking on this poor guy? But he treated that team like crap. He wanted to be the guy. He wanted the glory. He had the short man complex. If you're short out there, there's short people out there that have that inferiority complex to where they feel like they got a point to prove, which you shouldn't. Not at all. Everyone's the same. Everyone puts on their puts on their pants one leg at a time. Everyone puts one on the left, one on the right, and you call it a day. We all put our shoes on one leg at a time. Same thing with our shirts. One arm through each hole, head through the middle hole. We're all human beings. No one's better than the other. Sorry to disappoint people, but I've always felt that way. And I've hung out with people that are shorter people. They kind of had that problem, but they understood that, hey, I'm not better than anyone else, and you're not better than me. That's how Jerry Krause viewed it. He viewed it as he had to try to be the alpha because he's got the power. But then you have to go out and blame Jerry Reinsdorf as well. This isn't like everyone's blaming Krause. Jerry Reinsdorf's ass signed the freaking paychecks. If Jerry Reinsdorf really wanted to keep that team around, he would have kept them. Not that excuse of, they were starting to decline. And it's like, wait a minute. With Michael Jordan on their team, they went 6-0. They were 5-0 in the finals heading into that final season. And I thought Jordan said it well in the beginning of the doc, to where he was like, what? Make someone beat us. If someone beats us, you want to talk about a rebuild? Okay. Fair enough. But until someone beats us, you shouldn't break up this team. And he was right. No one beat them. They lost. The only reason they didn't get to defend their titles was because of management. And look at the effect. And this is something no one's really talked about. And I said it to my wife. That franchise has never been the same. Talent has not viewed that franchise in the most favorable light. All because of the way they treated Phil, Michael, and Scotty. I will carry that as long as I live. I love the White Sox. I think Jerry Reinsdorf's a complete moron. He's one of the worst owners in the history of sports. Him and Bill Wirtz belong together. God rest his soul. But you lucked into the greatest basketball player of all time. Pure luck. That Houston, why do you want to draft Olajuwon? Cool. I get it. Very talented big man, one of the best big men of all time. But then Portland drafts Sam Bowie because you didn't want Jordan playing alongside Clyde Drexler, because it basically would be the same position. Wow. It was dumb. It was a bad job by Portland's stupidity. Ended up being the Bulls' game. Because if the Bulls didn't get Michael Jordan, there's no way the Bulls would have won 6 championships. Let's just be. And I don't think Jerry ever. He's also got that complex of that he's always got to be right. Just because he has the money. That basketball franchise has never been the same when this is going on year 22. Sounds enough. I can't wait to see episode 3, man. Rodman, they don't have enough time to tell this one story. I seen Rodman. He was in Vegas in, I think it was was when McGregor fought Chad Mendes, UFC 189. I think it was July 2015. And it's the Friday night. The weigh-ins are done. I think usually on Friday nights we would all go to one of the restaurants in the MGM. I just happened to look up, and here's Rodman strolling in through the casino. I'm like, I was facing the casino, and I'm like, he's got scantily clad women. It was great to be Rodman. And so I saw a fighter. I don't remember who it was. And he's like, oh, yeah, I hung out with Rodman for like an hour. Rodman had 6 drinks in an hour. Jeez. Bought the table 3 rounds of drinks. Rodman time for me. He lost 10 grand in an hour. 10 grand. I would just love to have 10 grand in my hand. Just to know how I felt. It's $10,000 in cash. And he had another 20 in the briefcase. He had like this metal briefcase with him. And I'm like, but Rodman was a stud, man. For whatever you want to say about Rodman, when it came to game time, Dennis Rodman showed up. Except when he hung out with Hulk Hogan and missing practice. But it's just practice. Really quick, let's get on just before we talk about end with Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. UFC Women's Bantamweight and Featherweight Champion Amanda Nunes out of her featherweight title defense against Felicia Spencer at the rumored, this undisclosed location of UFC 250 on Saturday, May 9th. She felt like she didn't, first reported by CBS Sports, Brian Campbell, she felt like she wasn't going to have a proper training camp. She had like a little minor injury. I give her a lot of credit here, and this is why. She knows what the UFC is doing is a bunch of crap. Because it is. Let's just call it like we see it. And she made the best move for her. These champions should get top flight. These are all top flight fighters. They should be getting proper training camp. We should be seeing no fights, because I'm telling you right now, there's going to be tests taken away from people that need them to go for fighters. In this grand scheme of things, Daryl, we keep pounding this. You're going to be taking tests away from the American people that truly need it. Good on Amanda Nunes for saying, you know what? I need to be at my best. I need to be at optimum performance. I need to be at 125%. Very good on Amanda Nunes. Big props.
Yeah, definitely. Especially, and she's quoted saying, I don't think that's the right time for me right now to fight. Let this coronavirus pass a little bit so I can at least have a full camp. And that's what every fighter should be doing. Like, it's not the right time to have a fight. Like you mentioned, there's no test that you're gonna be wasting tests on fighters when you can prevent it by holding off fights until June, July, August. That's fine. That way Amanda can get her full training camp in. We don't put her at risk for getting the COVID-19. We don't put anybody else at risk for holding the event.
Yeah.
We save those tests for people that actually need them. And you don't have to – there's a lot of things. And we've beaten this to death by a drum. And it's just because the UFC keeps going and throwing more salt into the wound, saying, hey, we're going to hold this. But like you said, go down to Amanda Nunes for backing out. It's at this point, it's the right thing to do as she did it.
We don't need to be seeing fights in May. We don't. Like, boxing's done. Boxing's not coming back until it looks like it's going to be sometime in June. I think we're going to see boxing. PGA is coming back in. It's like the middle of June. I think it's the weekend of. I think it's like the weekend of the 20th or something along that nature. I think it's like the 18th through 21st or something. I think NASCAR is going to try and come back. I think at the end of May, which I'm very leery about because you are driving race cars.
Yeah.
And that's just a little concerning because you got pit crews, they're all by each other, and I'm not a fan of that idea. I think NASCAR's kind of topsy-turvy when it comes to, they were a little late to the draw, but they figured it out ultimately.
No.
But I don't think you need to be seeing any sports until June. Scott, you want to have like a spring training for like Major League Baseball. You want to see, maybe NBA can do like a little mini camp, get these guys back in shape. I just don't think we should be seeing, common sense should be June. I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a Nancy about it and I'm being a Sally and I'm being too sensitive to the situation. I don't think I am because the stuff's real. You got over 700,000 confirmed cases and you got 40,000 people dying. And it's like, it's not worth people dying and people getting sick. The economy is going to get there. It's going to be fine. It's not going to be immediate. We're all looking at, and I get it, people got jobs and people are getting furloughed. They're getting laid off. They're getting flat out fired. You got companies asking employees to take pay cuts and you got all this stuff. And I get it, unemployment's at an all-time high. It's hard for people to get, collect unemployment in various states. Illinois, terrible for people I know that have filed. My mom had to file. Luckily, she ended up getting lucky and she's been getting her money right away. She's been getting paid for the last, I think, last 2 weeks. So, it's working, on that end. And even though the unemployment system is still screwed up in Illinois, but slowly but surely it's getting there. I get the economic reasons, but economics shouldn't come ahead of people's health. Especially in something like this. It's like, we don't know enough. If there's enough testing, and these tests there's only been 4 million Americans tested. In the grand scheme of things, that's not many. In a country of 350 million people, that's not enough. You're talking like 2%? Around that figure? I don't know. My math's good, but I think it's right around 2%. That's not good enough. What is it, Daryl?
1%.
Even worse than I thought it was. If the tests were readily available, I wouldn't have this big problem with athletes getting tested and then we would get sports. I'd have no problem because then everyone's getting tested. They're getting at least tested once a week. For fighters, I think you need to get tested the day you get there, day of weigh-in, day before, right before you weigh in. Actually, right when you get to the venue door to weigh in, take a test. Day of the fight, take it, or after the fight, take a test. Therefore, you're getting tested 3 times within 4 days. I'm cool with that. That's fair. But because then you're not taking tests away from the American people.
Yeah.
Because right now, that's all you would be doing, and that is crap. I don't care. Yes, I want to see sports. Seeing The Last Dance last night, oh my God. First episode, 6.3 million viewers. Second episode, 5.8 million viewers. People have an appetite for sports. They want to see it. Especially something like this. We're going to get sports. Not the way we all want it, but we're going to get sports. But let's get people healthy first. Stay inside. Stay away. Then, it's not forever.
Sports will be back.
Yes. Too much short term instead of looking at the long term. I already canceled my golf trip. I was very sad about that, Daryl.
If you ever want to go to
to cancel it.
yeah, I work at a golf course over here at Park Ridge.
Okay.
We're closed. Nothing's happening for a while, and everybody's like, "Yeah, we're not gonna open until June."
We didn't cancel it. The guy we've been going. This would have been year 4, and the guy who organized it, we stay at his vacation home out in Orlando, and he messaged us. He's like, "Hey, what are you guys thinking?" And all of us were, we got 8 guys, and we're all like, "There's no vaccine. We're going nowhere." Except for one guy, everyone's got kids and is married. So it's like, I'm not endangering my children to play golf. Got a vaccine?
Sure.
On the first plane, the fuck beyond the plane. Let's go party. Let's go have fun. But health and safety is more important at this stage in the game. But let's end with this. We can talk about this all day. Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder. This one, like when we thought, Daryl. Wait a minute here. What is this?
So WBC World Champion signed by Roberto Duran on this one, Sugar Ray Leonard, and Tommy Hearns.
No.
Just got this bad boy today.
How did you get this?
PristineAuction.com. They auction off stuff, and then pretty much, yeah. Got it in an auction. Put in a bid today for Floyd Mayweather signed title, but
okay.
I don't think I'm going to put that much on there. It's WBA.
Now, for the people that this boxing glove straight up, total accident. It's a signed glove by Manny Pacquiao and Jesse Vargas when they fought.
Nice.
Now, Top Rank, and this was, we had a brain cramp. They had something on Twitter, something. I forget, like, the whole thing. It was like I retweet on something and they messaged me. Like, oh, you're going to get a free glove? Tell me your address. Oh, I'm like, so I message, like, I can't fill it out. And I talked to the PR, and I'm like, and they know who I am. They're like, what's going on? I'm like, you're a social media guy. Apparently, I won a free glove. And I'm like, it's kind of a conflict of interest. And they're like, well, yeah, it is. And like, do you still want it? I hate to take it. I couldn't say no. Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah.
It's a Manny freaking Pacquiao. And I told Jesse Vargas the story the last time I talked to him. And he looked up. He's like, hey, bring the glove up. Because I told him, like, man, I got an autograph of you. Autograph glove. And he's like, no. Brought it up when he looked. He thought it was amazing. That was like the night of his life. Even though he lost. He got his butt handed to him. Even though I thought he fought better than he did. But that belt, though. Man, the big green belt. The best, the only belt in my mind in boxing is the WBC belt.
Held currently by Tyson Fury.
Yes. And
who we'll be talking about.
Anthony Joshua did a podcast, boxing with Chris Mannix on DAZN, and it aired Friday morning. And Mannix asked him about the Wilder Fury fight, and good talk. Like, I thought Joshua broke it down really well of how Fury won. But then Mannix asked me, we didn't hear a peep from you after the fight. Because, like, Deontay Wilder just ripped Anthony Joshua to shreds after Joshua lost to Andy Ruiz in last June at MSG. And Wilder just went and full of lies, you never won 5, just ran him down. He was gloating like no one's business. Anthony Joshua took the high road. He wasn't going to kick him while he was down. He had no reason to kick him while he was down. I never felt like, that's Anthony Joshua's demeanor. He's not a guy that trash talks. He's pretty even-keeled. But then he goes, we are cut from different, we are cut from different cloths. He is B, and he's a B, and it begins with a B and ends with an H. Like, it's hard not to laugh. And there's more, but that was like the main kind of really just kind of broke down, like, Wilder will kick people when he's down. He's not cut like that. He's like, if you look at Wilder's 10 title defenses, when it came to facing high caliber competition, he struggled. There was really nothing in that assessment. And he picked Fury to beat Wilder in the trilogy. And I don't find nothing wrong with what Anthony Joshua said, because Anthony Joshua wasn't wrong. He didn't have to say, "Oh, you're a B." He just said you're cut from a different cloth, and I would have been cool with that. I get it's part of the hype, it's part of the trash talk. Try to build a future fight between the two, because I think they do meet, regardless if it's for a belt or not. That fight is big enough. If those two just met in the ring, I think the fight would do extremely well. But he's not wrong when you look at Wilder's resume. He's really not. Because if you look at Deontay Wilder's 4 toughest fights, the 2 fights with Luis Ortiz and the 2 fights with Tyson Fury, he struggled in all 4 fights and got saved by the right hand 3 of the 4 times. The time he didn't get saved, he lost. And shouldn't have won when he faced Fury the first time around. Shouldn't have gotten a split draw. Does the comments by Joshua surprise you? Or was that something you were expecting at one point or another? Anthony Joshua was going to fire back and zing Deontay Wilder and get back at him for the comments he made about him about 10 months ago.
It was something I expected to see. It was something I remember I was talking to a buddy of mine on my way home, because I watched it with him at a movie theater. And on my way home, we were talking about it, and I'm like, dude, this kind of sets the course for Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. Because now Wilder talked the smack when Joshua lost. Now Fury beat Wilder. Now I thought Joshua was going to talk before and set that, collision course up to their fight, and it never happened. So now it did happen. I was actually looking forward to it, because that's the match that I want to see. Fury Wilder 2 was awesome. I believe that Fury does not need to fight Wilder one more time to prove that he's a champion. That those comments that Wilder made saying that he wasn't a true champion are BS. And the fact that he's even saying that goes to show you how much of a difference it is. Joshua and Wilder, personality-wise, how much that literally went straight up.
Yeah.
Because it's making Joshua taking the high road, and it's setting up a fight that he's going to be favored to win, because it's making Wilder look bad. And he has a point. I was looking through Wilder's, making that list that I showed you for events that I want to see while I'm in quarantine here. Not a lot of Wilder fights that I'm like, you know what? That's a good fight I want to watch. I've seen the Luis Ortiz fight. I saw both Tyson Fury fights at a movie theater. That's not something that he has nothing wrong to say about Wilder that's not true. And if he's stating facts, by all means, say it all. Say all you want. As long as you're stating facts, not like Wilder, that you're just saying stuff and basically trying to preserve that image of you, that you're the ultimate heavyweight champion. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Fury, Joshua are the 2 top heavyweights that I want to see go at it.
Absolutely.
And I'd rather see that over Joshua Wilder any day of the week, because those 2 will put on a clinic. Fury prepared better than Wilder. Joshua saw that. Joshua called it, and he's saying it again. If it happens again, Joshua's going to just ream him a new one. And hopefully, you know what? Let it happen. Because honestly, Wilder talked a lot of smack. He couldn't back it up, especially with Fury. Joshua, I think, would win against Fury. I don't think he has a chance. If Wilder has a chance against Anthony Joshua.
Talk to Deontay enough to where he's very passionate. He believes what he says. And I can never begrudge someone that truly, like, you listen to him talk, you believe what he says. You really do. I could never take that away from him. And the comments he's made since the Fury fight, I don't think he believes what he's saying. Really don't. This has been like the first time I truly don't believe Deontay Wilder believes the words coming out of his mouth. He knows he got dominated. He got dominated from the jump, from the opening bell. He can't blame a mask. He can't blame armor. He can't blame anything. He got outboxed. The bully got bullied. And we saw who the better fighter truly was. When they meet in the fall, fight's gonna be no different. It's gonna be no different. Tyson Fury is gonna get better. I don't think Deontay Wilder has the right team to make those necessary adjustments for him to be great. He is what he is at this point. You know, he won an Olympic medal based on pure raw skill. That's hard to do. That's a testament to how great of an athlete he is, because he is a fantastic athlete. But Tyson Fury is the best heavyweight in the world. Plain and simple. He doesn't beat Tyson Fury. I don't think he beats Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua can flat out box. We saw it in the Joseph Parker fight. He's seen it in the Andy Ruiz rematch. When he has to box, he'll box. You know, he doesn't have to always get in the firefight everyone wants to see him in. We all want to see it. He's got a great right hand too. I think his right uppercut is vastly underrated. But if we're talking about pure skill, it's Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury beats Anthony Joshua. The bigger fight is Fury-Joshua. Not just because it's in the UK, because that's going to be bonkers. But it also will do well here. And I think they fight here. I think they also fight in the UK. That's a fight where you can go a couple times. I can see that being a trilogy. Both guys are that good. That's a 50-50. If I give a slight edge to Fury, I don't want to say 50-50. I would go like
60-40.
40. I'd go Fury. But I still think Joshua can win. Because Joshua does have power, but Joshua also has good boxing skill. He's a younger, more athletic version of Vladimir Klitschko. I really do. And I think if Joshua uses his footwork and he's got enough quickness, I think he can beat Tyson Fury. But Fury can also just outbox him, and we can get a totally different. Or look at what he did to Wilder. Training more with Sugar Hill Stewart, more the Kronk style. Maybe we see something different, but I was really impressed by Tyson Fury. But Anthony, I'd go Fury, Joshua, Wilder. And, you know, Joshua knows Wilder's not going to step aside. I wouldn't blame Wilder. Why are you going to step aside? You're guaranteed $25 million. Why are you going to say, hey, Anthony, I'm going to slide away for about $10 million? The competitive side of him wants to face Tyson Fury again, and Joshua admitted it. He knows Kubrat Pulev and Deontay Wilder are not going to step aside. We will see those two fights in the fall. Then we'll get Fury-Joshua. I think Joshua blows by Pulev. I don't think that's going to be much of a fight. And I think Fury gets by Wilder, and I don't think there's going to be any issues. I think 2021. I see a year from now they will meet. They'll each have a fight before then. I think they both win easily, and then we make the fight. Where you
Summer 2021?
I say a year from now.
Okay.
I think they go...
Because I think...
The selfish side wants it here. But, man, the pageantry of 90,000 people in Wembley Stadium. Sign me up. I'll go to London. Why not?
You have to have it at Wembley. You have to have that at Wembley. The top two heavyweights are both Brit, like the two Brit heavyweights going at it at Wembley. That's perfect.
Because you look at it like that, it's the biggest fight in the history of British boxing. And it's also the biggest heavyweight title fight since Ali Frazier. I really do. And bigger than Lewis Tyson. Because if you just look at the significance of it, it's for the 4 belts. Lewis Holyfield, 3 belts. Kind of, it got ruined by Lewis mopping him to the floor and getting a horrible draw the first time around. And Lewis proved the second time around who the better fighter was. But I think in Lewis and Tyson, it was more of an attraction fight. Mike Tyson was past his prime.
Long past his prime.
It was the signature win Lennox Lewis needed for his resume. And it was to show, and it was to get one more big payday for Mike Tyson. And that's what we got in that situation. But you're going to have, man, I keep doing this, and I apologize to everybody. That is the 3rd time I've done that.
Just keep backhanding the microphone, man.
But, no. But, the 2 best heavyweights in the world in their prime, one undefeated, one suffered a fluke loss at a fight he took on 4 weeks' notice. There's a lot of pageantry there. 2 guys in their prime, Olympic gold medals. Fury is beating everybody, undefeated. WBC champion, like he said, the gold standard belt of boxing. Joshua's got 3 belts. Fury's the lineal champion. 90,000 people. Sign me up. I love the green belt. You got to bring that on now every time. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's what
I have to.
That's what it's all about. And we will end with the
got the big gold one too.
Wow. Let me see.
Hold on, working on it.
Bring that screen down. We got to. Wow. Whoa. So when we do wrestling segments, you got to bring up the big gold belt. Then we do boxing.
I'm not bringing that thing up. That thing is heavy as hell.
Ric Flair.
I'm not taking it out of the case either.
Hey, Ric Flair did it all the time. 10 pounds of gold, man.
Yeah, Ric Flair was also in shape for his entire career. I'm not in shape.
He won freaking Rivera, man, the Puerto Rican stallion.
Listen, this thing is hanging on top of the TV. It's going to look good. Not taking it out of the case either. It's
Puerto Rican stallion. But we will. I'm going to get you to bring that belt out. That belt is freaking awesome. But we will end the talk with that. Daryl, where can the fans find you on Twitter? And
hopefully
the gram.
The gram. Hopefully my Twitter name is on there on the screen. They're at DYBoricua21. That's the same both on Twitter and Instagram. Steve always got to give it a little shimmy every time. Little shimmy. So that's where you can find me on Twitter. A lot of retweet stuff. Basically follow, subscribe here.
I don't want to cut you up, but what do you think of A-Rod and Jennifer Lopez possibly showing interest in buying the Mets? Wow.
I don't think MLB wants that at all. I think they want to be as far from A-Rod as possible. And ESPN is not doing them any favors. They want to get rid of that entire steroid era.
Jennifer Lopez, man. You have J-Lo cheerleaders. Oh, sign me up.
God bless them.
God bless the great Jennifer Lopez. Mwah.
He's a lucky man. He's the luckiest student alive.
Love that.
Managed to get away with the steroid scandal. Probably going to make the Hall of Fame.
And he's going to marry J-Lo. And he's going to be Jenny on the block every day. Twice on Sunday. God bless you, bro. You can find me on Twitter at SMuhlhausen. You can see my last name there, spelled Muehlhausen. You can find me on the gram that I do not use at all, and maybe one day I will use it again.
You need to get used to that.
Muehlhausen MMA. You can find all my stuff on sportingnews.com and thezone.com/news. Let's see. You can find the podcast. You can find it on YouTube. You can just search The Walkway to Fight Club. Tons of great stuff. CM Punk, Dana White, Chael Sonnen, Colby Covington, Rashad Evans. Bill Goldberg, you name it, we got it. It is on there. Anthony Joshua, Eddie Hearn, a whole lot more. We're going to be putting up a lot of old archive content starting next week. There's a reason why that's going to be happening, and we will get into that more next week. You can find the podcast on Twitter. You can go to Twitter, twitter.com/walkwayfight, or just go at walkwayfight. Go to Facebook. You can go in, then it's search bar, type in the Walkway to Fight Club, or just go facebook.com/the Walkway to Fight Club. Some good stuff this week. We're going to have Lacey Evans is going to. I'm be talking to her tomorrow, and Dakota Kai, who was the big NXT show coming up on Wednesday on USA. Lacey Evans will be talking about. She's doing a military project with Montel Williams. They're partnering up with WWE. Montel Williams is doing some cool stuff with the military. So we're going to be talking about that tomorrow. Those interviews will be on the YouTube channel and on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, and all your favorite podcasting platforms except for Stitcher. They suck. And not the shoes there.
Still don't know what it is. I don't think I'm ever going to know what Stitcher is.
You know what I want you to do when we're done? Go hit the Google machine. Go to the Google machine. Type in Stitcher. Not now. We're not done.
No, hold on. I'm writing it down. You told me to write it down. I got homework. Go ahead.
This is your homework assignment for Wednesday. Type in Stitcher.
Okay.
And find out what it is.
Stitcher?
They suck. Put it that way. They do suck. But yeah, we'll have stuff with Lacey Evans. We'll also have stuff with Dakota Kai. Talk to them both tomorrow. That'll be some pretty cool, interesting interviews. I've never talked to either one. So that will be quite intriguing. Don't forget, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe button. Over 1,000. We're at 1,012. So let's keep that trend going. Let's get to 1,100 here within the next week or so. And I think we're going to get there. With all the great content we're pumping out, don't forget, we'll be on Wednesday at 10 o'clock. It'll be an hour after AEW and after the Wednesday Night Wars featuring AEW and NXT. I don't even know what's on either show this week. Do you? Because I don't remember.
I believe there's a couple tournament matches on AEW, and then NXT, more build to, I don't know, actually. I'm going to look up.
I don't either, and I should know that. So we'll be on Wednesday at 10 p.m. Central Time, and then we'll be back on Friday at 9:30 p.m. after Friday Night SmackDown. For D.Y. Rivera, I am once again knock over the mic.
Stop being your mic, man.
Hey, it's 12:48, so cut some slack. For D.Y. Rivera, I am Steve Milhausen. We will see you on Wednesday night.